1. You were not born to survive, you were born to command. You grew up in a world that taught you to wait. Wait for permission, wait for validation, wait for one day, maybe, a door to open. But no one taught you to create the door. From childhood, you were taught caution. Be reasonable. Don't aim too high. Money doesn't grow on trees. While you repeated these phrases, other children were learning a completely different language, a forbidden language, that of domination. They were told, you can have it all. You were born to lead. You are the answer, not the question. Look around you. Not all of the greatest fortune builders had degrees. Not all of them started out rich. But they had a common point. They refused to survive. They demanded to command. And you? What are you doing with your potential? Are you saving it? Are you putting it on standby like a lamp forgotten in a dark room? Do you have the audacity to believe that wealth is for others? Then know this clearly. You just rejected what belongs to you. Haven't you ever been told this? Perfect. Then hear it today. You were born to command. You were born with raw, untapped power, dormant in your mind, a power that needs only one thing to activate, a decision. Not a desire, not a wish, a firm decision. Look carefully at the difference. He who survives says, I hope it works. The one who commands says, this is what I want. This is how I'm going to get it. And the universe only respects clear orders. It does not obey hesitations. It does not react to lamentations. It stands up for those who dare to speak with authority. You weren't designed to crawl. You were sculpted to hold the scepter. And this scepter is not money. It's your direct thought. You think you're ordinary. But every word you say, every thought you repeat is a seed that creates your reality. 2. Poverty begins in the head. You may not even realize it, but every day you practice a ritual, a silent, invisible, but devastating ritual. You turn your thoughts onto the frequency of lack. You talk about what you don't have. You observe, you repeat. And without knowing it, you give orders to your mind. I can't. It's too expensive. It's not for me. You think these are just words? Number. These are magic formulas in reverse, incantations that transform abundance into absence, keys that lock doors instead of opening them. Your subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between true and false. He does not judge. He obeys. And when you talk about boundaries, he builds them around you. Here's the truth. Poverty is not a spell cast from outside. It's internal programming. A software that you installed, line by line, copying what you heard around you. Did your parents talk about missing you? Were your friends complaining about the cost of living? You absorbed these beliefs like breathing air. And today you live in a reality that is not even yours. You don't need to change jobs to be free. You have to change language. You don't need to wait for more money. You must stop calling it a shortage. Look at your vocabulary. Every word is a seed. You speak like a penniless man, and you wonder why abundance ignores you. It's not your bank account that needs fixing. It's your internal dialogue, and what you repeat becomes your law. What you believe becomes your cage, or your empire. Do you want more? So stop saying lack. Stop, describe what you are running away from. Start talking like the one you want to become. 3. Wealth is a decision, not a dream. You say you want to be rich. All right, but I'm going to ask you a simple, brutal, relentless question. How much? You're already hesitating. You stare at the ceiling. You look for a vague number. But if you don't know exactly whatever you want, so you haven't decided, you just wished. And let me tell you straight, wishes build nothing. They float. They vanish. They leave no trace in reality. Do you want the world to listen to you? So speak to him precisely. I want 100,000 euros. I want 1 million within 24 months. I want to achieve this by creating a service that changes the lives of others. This is what the world respects. Clarity from the structure, not I hope, not I'll see. You don't need to be motivated. You must decide. A decision is a blade. She cuts out what is not you. It cuts off unnecessary options. She creates a single path, without detour, without plan B. Look at the big names. They never hoped. They have defined. They named their fortune before even touching it. Do you think you lack the means? Number, you lack a target. Because without a clear goal, your mind goes round in circles. He thinks, doubts, hesitates, steps back. He gets tired, then gives up. But once you say, this is what I want, and I won't stop until I get it, everything changes. The world is finally taking you seriously. Your subconscious mind is getting into gear. Opportunities appear, not by magic, but because you finally gave an order. Do you want wealth? Start with her. Then dare to ask in faith. 5. The subconscious is your silent executor. He works while you sleep. He listens when you think he's thinking for you. He doesn't speak. He doesn't explain. But he executed, word for word, emotion for emotion, everything you taught him. You've been feeding it all your life without knowing it. Every sentence of fear, every thought of doubt, every sigh of resignation. You thought these were passing moments. He engraved them. He took them for laws. And since then, he has been building your reality in silence. Your subconscious is not your judge. He is your worker. He builds exactly what you order, not what you say you want, but what you believe deeply. If you keep repeating, it's difficult. I'll never make it. Money is running away from me. So he deploys all his power to prove you right. He doesn't punish you. The eyes serve you. But imagine what you could create if you finally gave him instructions worthy of you. Do you want more abundance? So talk about as a fact. Think of it as if it were already there. Visualize it, feel it, repeat it, and do it again and again, until he started to believe it too, until it replaces every memory of fear by an image of power. You can't force it, but you can form her, as one shapes a blade, with patience, with fire, with discipline. Your subconscious is your secret factory. Every thought becomes a command. Every emotion becomes a directive. So what do you want to order him now? Still missing a little? Or the millimeter-perfect execution of your next fortune? You don't need to scream. Speak to him with conviction, and look how the world, slowly but surely, begins to obey the voice that you thought you had forgotten. 6th declaration of wealth. Stop. Breathe. Nothing else exists but this minute. This is where everything changes. Not tomorrow. Not when you have more money. Now, close your eyes. You will say simple words. But they are not ordinary. These are commandments. I was born to be rich. Maybe not. Not one day. I was born for this. I don't beg, I command. I don't beg for abundance. It demands it with faith. I choose the amount. I created the method. I hold the faith. I no longer let chance write my life. I hold the pen. I plot the numbers. I build bridges. Say it again. Not shyly, not halfway, with your whole body, with all your breath, with that energy you've been holding back for too long. Repeat again, again, until your voice no longer trembles, until fear, dull and tiny, no longer finds its place in your belly. Every word is a hammer. Each word strikes a new foundation. You don't talk to the universe. You awaken your own power. You don't ask permission. You take a stand. Repeat it with your eyes closed. I was born to be rich. I am an architect, not a spectator. I command gold. I walk in gold. I speak with gold. Do it morning and evening. Do it when you have doubts. Do this until your cells vibrate differently, until the outside world follows you because your inner world has already decreed it. You're not playing pretend anymore. You just came from down your throne. 7. When faith overcomes fear, wealth comes. Are you waiting for a sign? Are you waiting for something out there to reassure you before you dare to believe? So you risk waiting your whole life. Wealth does not come after proof. She comes after faith. Do you want things to change around you? So first of all, it is necessary that you change inside, not a little, not shyly, radically, because everything in your current life is a reflection of an invisible choice. The doubt you have been harboring, the fear you protected, the compromises you signed without realizing it. Do you want to reverse the trend? So it is necessary to have a faith greater than your past. One faith stronger than the memories of failure. One faith who speaks when your reason is silent. Doubt is cunning. It creeps in. It disguises itself as caution. He whispers, "What if it doesn't work?" But there it was. Faith does not murmur. She declared, "I am ready. I command." I received it. Not by merit, not because you checked all the boxes, but because you believe you can. Faith is raw energy. It lifts you above calculations. She doesn't try to understand. She knows. And it is in this knowledge that the impossible begins to obey. Fear recedes when you move forward. The world tilts when you stand tall. I am ready. I command. I received it. Say it when you're shaking. Say it when you fail. Say it until your body becomes a voice of fire. It is not fear that prevents abundance. It's your attachment to her. Free her. Choose faith. Not a naive faith, a faith that knows in advance. Because wealth only obeys those who believe before seeing. There is always a moment. Only one. A beat that weighs more than all the others. This moment is when you say yes. Not to a plan, not to an external promise, but to yourself. When does wealth begin to form in your life? Not when you come up with the right idea. Not when you earn a little more. Not when the world decides you're entitled to it. None. She begins exactly at the moment when your faith overcomes your fear. Not a second before. Do you want to run towards abundance? What if you stopped? What if you let her come to you? Because now you are ready to receive. You don't expect this moment, you choose it. And maybe he's here. Now maybe, as you hear these words, something in you changed frequency. Your head is straight, your gaze is fixed. Your mind no longer flees, it moves forward. You no longer negotiate with your limits. You no longer tell your story of missing out. You declare your new story, you said, "I decide." And that sentence alone rewrote your future. You no longer seek evidence. You then provoked. You don't beg anymore. You orders. And from that moment on, the universe adjusts. Ideas come, resources present themselves. Circumstances bend to your will, because it is no longer contaminated by doubt. You don't need to run anymore. You have changed the pole. You are no longer the one seeking. You are the one who attracts. And from now on, every word you say, every action you take, every silence that you inhabit bears a new signature, that of the one who decided.